Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming doing a video for all my Walking Dead Road to Survival fans, and this is the best event from The Walking Dead, March 6, 2016. Wow, what an amazing episode. But before I get into all the details of this episode, I want to let all of you guys know that have not seen the episode yet, this will contain spoilers, will also contain predictions. So if you don't want to participate in the chat, the conversation, those of you guys that sub to me for game reviews, turn off the video now, stop, go elsewhere, because we are going to get into what happened tonight because there's a lot of crazy stuff. So in 3, 2, 1, that is your warning. It's all open season at this point. So let's start out. We'll start out with just the church speech. I mean, I just loved the fact that, each individual person, you could just see their body language and what they were kind of going through. Of course, Morgan, the opposition, he had to stand up and sort of say his piece. And then a little bit later on, you find out Morgan is welding something. So that's a little bit, you still want to uncover that. The group is out. They're just coming back bringing supplies. Carol's back in hardcore cookie mode. She makes beet and acorn cookies. A little bit of a kiss scene with Carol as well, too. Not expected. Carol's becoming a chain smoker, so you can see all the events seem to be wearing on her. I mean, with Carol tonight, it was, she's smoking and she's, kissing. I think it was Tobin, right? And then a little bit later on, she kind of snaps at Maggie. So just a lot of things with Carol. She had a diary with the, recalling some of the kills, the candle lady, and some of the other things that went through. So a lot of focus on Carol. And that sort of led me to believe something was going to happen with Carol. And then you guys saw at the very end when she was being kidnapped. So I knew there was so much focus on her that something was going to happen. Abraham's epic breakup with Rosita, that to me, and I know some of you guys predicted that as well too, from either the comic or you'd seen some of the spoilers as well, but just the way it all went down was a little bit shocking to me. You don't know if Abraham's doing it to protect Rosita or he's doing it just because, it's time to say, peace, adios, something's going to happen a little bit later, and, I don't want you to be attached. So, and then the group decides they're storming Negan's compound. So that, to me, my favorite scene, there were several I could choose from. They storm the compound. They come up with a little bit of the plan. I was torn with this, and I guess it had to happen this way, but somewhere in my mind I was thinking, like, just move the group somewhere else. Move far away from Negan's guys because you don't know how many people are there. Go become farmers. Go become fishermen. Go do something, but don't roll in. But I think the actual storming of the compound, for me, my favorite part was when it was on. Daryl comes up behind and just cuts the guy's throat. That's the guard. And at that point, I knew, Daryl really got that first kill and got the ball rolling with everybody there. It was going to be chaos at that point. So to me, my best event was actually that scene because I thought it just started to set the tempo. And the group comes in and they just take care of complete business. It was unbelievable, how they went in. They were so organized. Even, when the alarm was set off, when Abraham sort of turned his back to a little bit, he was paying attention to Sasha. Next thing you know, someone's out in the hallway, and they didn't finish him off. The alarm gets pulled, but the group takes care of it. Glenn gets his first kill. Heath couldn't quite do it, but then Heath had no trouble when they go in the weapons room and just start firing at will. I think one of the dark scenes as well, too, was the second person in the room that Heath was going to kill, but instead Glenn killed him, and I guess he had a little bit of remorse. But you look up on the wall and you see all these Polaroid pictures that are trophies. Now, I don't know a lot about that, but there's a couple theories to me that could have been. I don't know if these were trophies from the guy who was sleeping there, or I don't know if they were Negan's kind of fear reminders, because if you look at some of the pictures in there, they look like they'd been hit with a bat, that they were literally missing their face. So I don't know if that was a scare tactic that maybe Negan had sort of posted these up and they were bragging about it, or these were individual from this guy. But either way, I think it probably will relieve a little bit of that burden from Glenn of actually having to kill. And as we moved on, the group thinks they're successful. It's everything is good. They're I think Michonne says to Rick, it's like, I wonder which one was Negan. Well, none of them were Negan. So, and then the dude rides out on the motorcycle. Daryl recognizes the bike, and I think at that point starts to sink in, there's more. And then, of course, the radio call, and now, who knows? We got Maggie and Carol. The show did show a little bit of a spoiler from next week, which was kind of weird. I saw two spoilers. One was on the show, and one was on Talking Dead. And it looked like the spoiler on the show was further along, where they actually took Carol and Maggie away, either in a bus or in another compound. But then the show from Talking Dead actually showed them negotiating. So it does look like the negotiation is not going to work, and they are going to take them away from somewhere. So my favorite scene tonight was, whatever. I might be a Norman Reedus fanboy, but Daryl got a little bit medieval tonight, and so that was my part. Leave in the comments below. I want to know what you guys thought about tonight's episode, and I want to know what you thought was the best event from tonight's show. A little bit later on the week, we'll talk about predictions and spoilers for next week's episode, but let's kind of take a deep breath and absorb this one, because the last couple have been pretty low key, and tonight it ramped up 100-fold. So this is, if you're not getting into the episodes at this point, you just don't have a pulse. So they were like renegades. I mean, they were out there. I mean, I say hey, 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 hey. They were like renegades. I mean, they were knocking it out of the park. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Slap that like button like you got Lucille in your hand and you're getting ready to slap whatever may come out of it. Thanks so much. Peace.